Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Lay's Science Workshop. Today I am going to show you how to make a balloon car. Well, you know we have learned about motions and force, so this is the one way that you can show us what you have learned through making a balloon car. This is what your balloon car will look like. As you can see, the straw is what's going to be powering the car to move. You're going to have to blow through the straw and it goes through here, and then once you let it go, it should be able to travel in a straight line. Now the axle you're going to be making is you're going to be using shish kebab sticks with straws and 2 plastic caps. Along with the other 2 in the front, they have to do another axle in the front as well. So it sounds pretty simple, so let's go ahead and get started. First, you will need 2 shish kebab sticks. You're going to need some straws, plastic bottle caps, balloons, Scotch tape, of course, empty water bottle. And the type of balloons that I use is called helium. It's size 12. And don't forget, you're going to be needing a ruler to measure, and a pair of scissors to cut, a Sharpie, an X-Acto knife, and a shish kebab cutter. First things first, what you're going to need is your plastic water bottle. And you're going to have, you can see I'm going to flip over my car so you can see my 2 parts right here. I'm going to have to tape my straws on those 2 ends to start building my axle. So, first things first, the straw, you're going to have to measure 3 3/4 inches. So I'm going to put my ruler here and put it place on my ruler and use my Sharpie and mark 3 3/4. I'm going to do the same with the other straw. 3 3/4 inches. Using my scissors, I'm going to cut on that mark, and the rest of them I can just throw away. Next, I will need to use a shish kebab and cut it in the correct length so that it would fit through the straws to build the axle. Now, you're going to be needing to measure this to be 5.5 inches long. As you can see, I have one of them cut already. So the second one that I'm going to be measuring, of course, using my ruler, make a mark on 5.5 inch. And then I'm going to use my handy dandy shish kebab cutter. So be careful, mom and dad, going to be needing help with your kid on this one. Okay, there it goes. Alright, now you have 2 shish kebab cut in 5.5 inches. First, you are going to put your bottle, lay down flat. Doesn't matter which side you put it on top, it just depends on you. So what I'm going to do is I am going to tape my 2 straws on the bottle. Now when you tape these, make sure that you are taping it nice and straight. Because if you don't, and if you tend to bend your axle, your car might not move in a straight line. So here we go. Get a piece of Scotch tape. Place on the water bottle with one finger, and then with the other finger, you are going to tape it and try to, of course, to eye it and center it as much as you can. You're going to do the same thing with the second straw. You are going to place it, I'd say, about 3.5 inches apart. So I'm going to use my ruler and see where would 3.5 inches apart be. So it'll be about right there, above where it says Kirkland. And I'm going to tape it right there too. Now remember I told you earlier, make sure that both sides that you're taping the straw down are equal distance. Because if you don't, it will throw off the distance and the direction of the car's moving. As you can see, I'm eyeing right now. They look pretty much parallel, so that's a pretty good tape. So next I'm going to do is I'm using my 4 bottle caps. Now with the bottle caps, it's really easy to pop through. If you use a shish kebab stick or one of the sharp ends, and all you have to do is just poke through the little hole there. Well, I'm not sure what kind of water bottle you have, but the one I have here is called Kirkland. So there's a little hole in there already, so it's kind of easy to pop it through. Maybe other water bottles may not allow you to do that, but this one does allow you to. As you can see, it's very easy to poke through using a shish kebab stick. And then I'm going to do the same with the other 3 bottle caps. Then you probably want to create a little hole, but not too wide, because when you make the hole too wide, then the shish kebab stick will be too loose and the wheels might not turn as well. As you can see, I do have 4 of them ready to go. So the way I'm going to insert my shish kebab stick to create the axle is that I'm going to insert one of the caps in first. Now, preferably, I would have this open part sticking out. So I'm going to poke through. Maybe a little bit hard, but it's doable. As you can see, it's about a 1/4 inch sticking out. So I am going to stick it through the first straw, and with my hand, hopefully I don't damage anything, I can poke through the other hole. So be careful when you do this and you don't poke through your hand. I do the same thing with the front axle. Poke it through, slide it through the straw again, and then using your force and press down the shish kebab stick. Okay, as you can see, right now it will be a good idea to go ahead and adjust your wheel, making sure that the 2 front wheels is loosely moving like this, and that it is lined up with the back wheel, because if you can see, if it's not, then the car might not be moving in a straight line. So you can see my car's not moving very well right now, because I believe because my table doesn't have any friction, so that is why it's not moving as well. But as you can see, okay, I try to make it go, but I guess it's not going. Okay, but anyway, so that part is done. Now I'm going to flip the back of the car over. Now the second part I'm going to be showing you is how to make a hole and then insert the straw through the balloon. Looking at the back of the car right here, I'm going to, using my Sharpie, I'm going to make one on the bottom of my water bottle. And then the second one is going to be right where the soft part of the bottle. So I'm going to make another hole right here and try to align it as much as you can. And then using an X-Acto knife, please be careful, and make a hole. Now don't puncture it too hard, because you may create a bend inside your car and it might not be a full looking car. So I'm going to do the same on the back of the car. Ooh, okay, it's kind of hard, but it's manageable. Alright, so you can see I created 2 holes in my water bottle. Make sure the hose is big enough so that when you insert the straw in there, it will fit through the hole right there. Now it was hard for me at first. Now the straw, how long do you need it? Looking at the final product I have here, it's about 4 inches from the balloon to the bend part. So I'm going to be using my straw, which is the 3rd straw I'll be using, and then I'm going to make a mark to about 4 inches, which is about right there, because I don't need the straw to be that long. Now I have to cut it. Now I need to insert the straw through the 2 holes which I have make into the water bottle. Now it's going to be tricky, so hint hint, using a shish kebab stick, slice it through the straw, and then I will go from one hole, so you can see from the bottom to the top. As you can see, voila! And it came out so easily. Now is the hardest part, so taping of the balloon. Just kidding, it's not that hard. I'm going to cover the balloon probably about 1/4 inch in there. Leave it alone, and then take yourself about this long piece of tape. You are going to tape the balloon to the straw. You're going to try to tighten it as much as you can without letting any air out once you blow into it later. Of course, you don't want it too tight either, because they might not be air going through once you start blowing it in. As you can see, it didn't take very long to make the car. All you had to do is make sure you do the axles first, and then you do the balloon. Now for the final test and see if it works. So what you're going to do. Okay, boys and girls, the final test. Blow up your balloon. Make sure when you place it down on the floor, that is, the wheels are adjusted. And of course, you're going to let the straw go and make sure the straw is dipping towards the floor.